artistic. It was about bringing both things together, the arts and the athleticism, just like bringing the culture with the dance and taking that. And that my teacher,
Roheen Ward's talking to U.S. Figure Skating on Instagram.
She'd be like, dare to be ugly, Roheen, dare to be different.
Choreographer for Jason Brown.
Dare you.
You can listen with me.
Like, oh, okay, let me show you ugly.
With us.
So, I mean, there's been, and I think it's really important, but I also think it's important for the choreographers to study and to do dance on those things themselves. And, and whenever I travel, I dive into the community. I dive into the locals. I'm off not at the resort. I want to be in the locals. I want to meet local people. I want to go to their homes. I want to see what it smells like. I want to see what it looks like. I want to see what it, how they live in comparison to us here. Is it smaller? Is it bigger? Is it brighter? Is it clean? Is it,
someone joined? You want to see?
Is it risky? Is it? But most of the time, what I found was rich in life. They're rich in life.
Roheen Ward talking to us figure skating on Instagram,
which is, I think, the best thing I got from traveling and trying that back to what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome that you really have taken the time to learn and study what you're doing in order to make the performances as powerful and impactful as they are. Because when you know kind of the background of what you're doing, not only are you appreciating a culture rather than appropriating it, but it's also just going to be a much more enjoyable and impactful performance. So that's awesome that is such a part of your process.
I mean, what's interesting is I did Schindler's List one year for Champions on Ice, the only time I was invited to do that in my home city, and I skated Schindler's List, surprisingly enough. And this guy, he was in his mid-70s, he obviously was Jewish. He said to me, he grabbed my hand and said, why do you think that you can skate to this? And I was just like, well, why can't I? I said, my people were oppressed too. I don't, to me, if anybody could skate to it equally and have that same, it was me, it was us. I don't know, I felt like, why shouldn't I be able to skate to this?
What was he skating to? Schindler's List?
I was touched by their history and their stories, so I felt like, it was there was something to compare, there was something to share and to unite on and bring some unity to two things, not why do I feel like I can. And that's the same way I feel about Jason as well. With Nina Simone, these little Walter pieces and
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, definitely. And bringing respect and knowing that your experiences can help kind of unite communities in a way, even though they might not be exactly the same. But with that education piece, you can kind of bring two groups together in a way that might not always be possible. So that's really cool. Right. And then I'm also just curious, so choreography, how did you make the switch from competitive skating into being a choreographer? Was that something that you had always wanted to do, or was it just so natural for you that you had to do it?
Well, no, the thing is that, like my coach taught my coach paid for my skating for 18 years. And while I was training, like once I hit 16, she was like, okay, you can start teaching on the side to help pay for at least your food and your ice time and stuff. And so I was teaching her students jump, spins, choreography. I've been doing it since I was 16. It wasn't anything I ever anticipated doing. It's just something that happened, and I'm good at teaching, not just choreography. And I have to say, I as much as I love doing choreography, I like teaching technique equally as much, if not more, because you can't really teach choreography without great technique. So therefore, for me, they come hand in hand. I don't like teaching people how to emote. I like creating masterpieces. So there's a very big difference on how I like to create. But I was just fortunate enough to work with Jason from the very beginning all the way through. So that technique was learned throughout the whole time. So it wasn't just one or the other. I mean, like,
let's try Instagram. It says coming soon. Let's try sharing this to my other Twitter.
That technique piece is definitely true, and you're able to create such a beautiful picture when you have that foundation already set. So that makes sense.
And a lot of people don't understand. They want you to do these programs for them, and they want to come, and it's like they think they know how to skate, or they know, and it's like the foundation is just not right. And, when the foundation's not right, it doesn't execute as well or come across the same. You know what I mean? Which is why, for me, it's important that I work with them regularly, not just come in for a program and then send them on their way.
Yeah, of course.
Because it never will look like what I want it to look like, and it'll never look like what they want it to look like either.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's the process, not just kind of a one and done.
Right. Yeah, you can't just like, no, it's a process.
Awesome. Well, my final question for you, because I know we're all really excited for the Olympics starting tonight, and opening ceremonies coming up. So I want to know, how are you planning on watching? I'm sure you're excited, but yeah, how are you planning on watching and celebrating the Olympics this year?
We're going to be watching it right here on this TV, this whatever 70-inch TV right here. Unfortunately, I'm not there. I mean, I would love to be there. I'm sure his family would love to be there, and but we'll be right here cheering and rooting and sending all those positive vibes and energy, and we'll just be right here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for.
I do want to say one more thing though.
Yeah,
I wanted to say how I meant to mention this earlier. How important it was for me to bring not only skating to my culture, but also bring my culture to skating, and I say that because my mom hadn't met her dad before, and I now know my grandfather, and they've connected, and it's been over 40 years since they had seen each other, and skating has really changed my family's life, not even just mine. I know they never expected skating to impact their lives at all whatsoever, let alone mine. Like it's so it's just really important, and it's just been really important for me to remember where I come from, the struggles that I've been through, because that's what really makes everything so beautiful is being able to bring things from that pain and that struggle, and you turn it into something beautiful. And so I really think it's important for people to understand that what I'm doing, what I do, and how I do it, it comes from in my soul, and it's it's a very personal, private thing, and that's in that sense. You know what I mean? So yeah, so. Thank you very much for having me. It was really awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing that. And it's true. When it comes from deep inside and you think about kind of what you've been through and use that to emote and create the programs, that's when they really touch other people, because it creates a human, not just kind of this thing that you see. So
Right. It makes it more personable.
Yeah.
It makes it more real.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So thank you again so much for joining today, and thanks for everyone who joined on the live. We're so excited to be doing this series throughout Black History Month, and we have some great other guests lined up. So thank you, Roheen, and have fun watching the Olympics,
thank you,
everyone.
Oh, I will for sure. You too.
Great. Bye.
No. Take care. Enjoy France. Yes.
All right. Let's listen to the last minute of GMA 3, and then I'll say what I wanted to say.
No, they are coming. Tomorrow you will have all of the answers and then some. It's definitely going to be a wild ride, but I'm so excited. I mean, it feels like such a long wait.
Because I have it on delay.
Me, and I know what happened. So I'm so excited for the world to know it now.
Now, you said we only have to wait till tomorrow. Now, you promised that. We have a lot of folks here on the show promoting their shows now, but it's going to deliver, because if not, we're going to have you right back on the show here. You tell me the answers are coming.
The answers are coming, even though I really do.
Joanna Garcia Swisher.
But I'll be here with you every day if you need me. But yes, you will get all of the answers and then some, and there will be a whole new slew of things that will leave you wondering. It's definitely a jam-packed season. A lot happens this season. I'm so excited for it.
I believe we also teased that you were going to give us some secrets.
Yes.
Yeah. What are the secrets?
Yeah.
Give us a secret.
Listen, I would love to tell you everything. This is why they didn't give me any spoilers till the last minute. I am the weakest link. If my 5-year-old daughter were here, she actually watched the show with me when they gave me the preview material. And she just, threw out some spoilers at dinner the other day that I thought, oh God, I didn't even realize she was paying attention. So she's actually the weakest link, but she happens to be at school. So you know what? You're not going to get anything out of me. Tomorrow you'll get all the answers.
It seems kind of hard for you to, and we saw your reaction when we said 30 years in the business. You kind of held your head like, oh my goodness. It seems like you almost can't believe that you've had this career for this long, and now here you are on a show that people are loving. And
Magnolias? I've never
seen
it.
That reaction when
Sweet Magnolias.
When we said it out loud that you've been in this business 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. That's probably one of the reasons why I have to dye my hair as much as I do, because it's all gray. That's how old I feel. But I just feel very lucky. I mean, I can't believe that I've been able to do what I love for this long. And this show has been such a blessing in my life, and it came to me in the moment where I didn't know I needed it as much as I did, but it has carried me through some very, very crazy and difficult moments in the last couple of years. And it's just been such a source of love, and I'm so proud of it. And it's very celebratory. So I'm very grateful.
Wow. And we're grateful, by the way, for your blog, The Happy Place. You're just bringing us joy. We only have to wait one more day for the answer. So Joanna Garcia Swisher, thank you so much for being with us, for spreading that joy. And you can stream the second season of Sweet Magnolias this Friday on Netflix. And
thank you.
Just hearing it out loud, the Happy Place blog makes you happy, right? Before you check it out.
Well, that's what you need to know for this Friday Eve. We're going to see you right back here tomorrow. I'm Amy Robach.
And I'm TJ Holmes. A reminder, download the new ABC News app. And you can give us a follow here, CMA3 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram pages for all of us here at ABC News, including Dr. Ashton. Everybody, have yourself
Where is Dr. Ashton?
Friday Eve.
All right. What I wanted to say was, Roheen Ward talked about skating to something, maybe something from Schindler's List, and a Jewish man asked him why he was skating to that, and he said, "Why can't I?" And then he talked about that there's like, yes, there was slavery in the African American community, and there was but that's not the same as the Holocaust. And I'm not saying that no one who's not Jewish should ever, I'm not saying that they can't ever skate to that music, but I am saying there is a difference between what happened in the Holocaust and what happened in slavery. And neither one of them were good, but they're not the same. All right. Now Megan went live. Wait a second. What does Megan have to say? Megan Duhamel just went live. I was going to hang this up. Let's see what Megan says.
Hi, everybody that's coming in.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, everyone.
That's spelled wrong.
Waiting for Caitlin to join.
MEAGANDUHAMEL on Instagram.
So nice to see so many people, so many messages coming in. Hi.
DUHAMEL. Caitlin, and
Yes,
she's
Alana,
Caitlin.
KA. That's what we're here to talk about.
Wait a second. AKA2Ash on Instagram. Caitlin.
Hello. You are. Hi.
All right.
Oh my God, I am here. I am so here. Are you wearing a Canada shirt?
You want to see?
Am I wearing a Canada shirt? I was my orange is like very neutral.
Caitlin Weaver and Megan Duhamel.
It's warm and Canadian colors.
Okay.
How about that? That's true. Hi, Meg. Excited everybody's coming on. Caitlin's here. And the Olympics starts tonight for us. here in Eastern Standard Time Zone, depending on where you are. It'll be different. Some of you, the Olympics will be happening today, tomorrow, tonight, this morning. I'm so happy to have Caitlin here. We had so much interest and so many people joining my technical specialist call that I did with Simon Briggs, and a lot of great questions came up. And I thought that we should get some insight from skaters as well. How weird is it, Caitlin, to be knowing that you're going to watch the Olympics from home?
Caitlin just dropped.
Oh no, I think you're frozen.
She's not frozen, she's gone.
I'm going to re-invite Caitlin in because I think that she just froze. Or I froze, I'm not sure.
Well, she knows she's live, duh.
Meanwhile, hi to everybody who came in as we were chatting. Hopefully that's just a little glitch. We can get that figured out. Hi, everybody. And as, hopefully, there we go. Okay, she's coming back. At least I've accepted her to return back in. So hopefully
She says she can't get in.
it's going to be okay.
And I said, how's Zoe?
I'll re-request. It's always funny, like technology. I don't know if it's my end. I don't know if it's whose end. Hi, Caitlin. I'm accepting you. I'm clicking accept. I don't know why it's not going. Maybe we should restart it. Oh. Am I back? I think so. I can hear you.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know what happened. I guess Instagram wasn't ready for the tea that's about to be dropped.
Can everybody see you? See
Yeah,
Caitlin? Because you're still frozen for me, but I hear you, so that's great.
Oh no!
I see her.
Yes?
Can
Okay,
everybody see me?
Yeah, I have a yes. Yes. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Everybody
Sorry,
else.
Meg. You'll just have to. At least you know what my face looks like.
Yeah, and you know what? You're frozen with a big smile, so it's.
If I could be so lucky.
Yeah. Everything froze as I was asking you what it's like to know that you're going to watch the Winter Olympics from home when you actually.
Okay, so I think maybe Instagram was allowing me to think about my answer for a couple more seconds because honestly, I have a bit of mixed feelings. Nothing negative, of course, but it snuck up on me a little bit. I had so much fun staying on the pulse of Canadian nationals, like doing the commentary with Skate Canada.
Am I live
had
on
a
Facebook?
blast.
Let me
I
look.
love sending our teams off with so much enthusiasm and love and support. And then as soon as like photos start rolling in from the Olympic Village, my heart started to beat a little bit stronger, and I was like, oh, it just brings back such amazing memories, and it made me just like itch to be there. But honestly, what is going to satisfy that feeling is watching the team event tonight. I am so excited. I'm just like 10 out of 10 enthusiasm. So I'm very happy that, I don't have to deal with the stress of competition. I can watch from my couch, or in this case tonight, I'm going to be at the Canuck in downtown Manhattan. So yeah, how about you? I mean, you this is what, your fifth cycle though? Like being, like
for 2 Olympics, like as were you in 2010, and then I went to 2 Olympics, and I think like from a fan perspective, it's really different being an Olympic fan or a skating fan live at the Olympics and then doing that from home. Doing it from home like kind of feels a little bit more organized in a weird way, and a lot less stressful.
Yeah. Well,
So-
what about like even with Bruno there? I mean, do you feel like you're there, but
Her husband's there as a
this.
coach.
So or most of the people probably here know my husband's gone to the Olympics to coach 2 pair teams.
Which
China has like crazy COVID protocols, and
which 2
he
teams?
ended up having a positive test last week, which delayed his departure. And then he followed it up with 4 negative tests in a row, and then he was allowed to depart, get to China. He arrived there and tested positive upon arrival. So
Oh,
he has
no.
been put in isolation. He immediately after the positive test produced a negative test. And then they demand another one. And anyways, his levels when he's testing positive are so low. They're showing traces of an old infection of COVID, not a current infection. But they don't seem to care too much about that right now. He was supposed to get on a bus 10 minutes ago to practice, and he doesn't have his second result yet, so he's still waiting for that. So a lot of stress happening for him there. And it was a lot of stress last week in his testing to lead into it. When he had those 4 negative tests 4 days in a row, we were feeling pretty confident that when he got there, he'd be fine.
I can't imagine the extra layer of stress that's put on. I mean, my first thought was the skaters, but the coaches and the teams and, the village and stuff. Like, you think that your job to skate your very best for the best 4 minutes of your life is enough stress, but that on top of something you can't even control, it just, do you kind of let go of the result in that case? Like, you just say whatever will be,
Well, I've been trying to lead with that and to tell him the most important thing right now are that the athletes are there and they're testing negative. This is the most important. And he understands that. But I mean, the Canadian team has another coach with them. The Japanese don't. So they've been practicing for 5 days without a coach. He does it on FaceTime. And then now to actually be there and be in Beijing and be in your room. It's
the Japanese team and the Canadian team.
So fingers crossed, everybody's positive energy that he's going to continue testing negative the rest of the time. That's the thing, right? For people who had COVID with since Christmas to now, they say that you for months. So if you keep testing positive, I would assume there's some sort of procedure in place. If you've had it, you have proof that you had it before, and it would clear you. That's what we thought. That's what we were told. And we'll see. I mean, the Japanese skating team has such a big opportunity with this team event to win their first team event medal at the Olympics. It's there for them, and I know that the skaters feel that.
Why are they worried about Keegan?
For an athlete to have their coach with them in that moment.
Yeah, I see Nick McCarville. Hey, Nick. He just commented saying that the Japanese pairs are in great spirits, which honestly, if anybody can handle a little bit of adversity, it's absolutely them. They've done it before. They are the happiest, most positive people I've ever seen skate on that level. And their enthusiasm and love for what they do is so infectious. I am pulling so hard for them. So fingers crossed for the Japanese tonight.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have a great skate and that they're really ready. But what do you think is going to happen with this team event? We've seen the announcements of who's skating in the short program from a couple of countries. How do you feel about that? Do you think some of the skaters are going to change in the long program? It's so interesting because, as you know, also from competing at the Olympics, you're waiting to be called upon. You're waiting to be told 24 hours before, hey, you're in for the free dance. And as calculations are being done and things
why.
How does that feel to be
Jason
first of all
decorated that.
waiting and not knowing if you're when would you ever do that? And second of all, what do you think about the names that have been submitted for the short programs that we're going to see tonight?
First was the waiting, and I absolutely can relate to that because we were sent to Pyeongchang 2018 with the possibility of competing in the team event. So we were sent early. Obviously, the teams that are not competing in the team event are only just arriving because they still have some time to get on the ground and get comfortable. And the ones that are competing tonight have been there for a few days. So we were sent ahead of time.
I'll show you.
With the understanding that it was a possibility. But to me, in an athlete's mindset, there is no limbo. There's, yes, we're doing it because we have to believe and prepare in the way that we would normally, where there is no question of, am I competing or not? You need as much focus and momentum, mental momentum going in, to get the job done, in my opinion. It wasn't I'm going to start preparing now that I got the phone call 15 hours before the practice, So for us personally, when we didn't do it, that was a little bit tough because we were just believing that we were going to do it. It's a bit of a mixed bag being in the waiting, playing the waiting game. But at the end of the day, you want your country to do its very best, and Canada obviously has done amazing the last 2 games. But looking at the list, I think it's so cool to see these new countries that now have the strength of all 4 disciplines start to rise, and that's something that, whether you've been following skating the last 4 years or not, is exciting to see that the disciplines now are all starting to kind of level out, if that makes sense. So I think it's going to be very exciting. In terms of the ice dance, I think it's going to be a tight race. I was interested that Maddie Chalk and Evan Bates won't be doing the short dance, which I for some reason I was like, oh, they'll do the short and Maddie and Zach will do the free. But it's the other way as it's listed now. So it's going to be exciting. It's the Olympics. People are going to pull out all the stops, and that's where magic happens, is when you just let it all go and give her.
And I think it's really interesting because when we started this team event at the Olympics in Sochi, it was really the three big players were Canada, USA, and Russia. The well-rounded within 4 disciplines. And you saw countries, we see countries now, this is 8 years later, we have Japan in the mix with 4 well-rounded disciplines, Georgia in the mix with 4 well-rounded disciplines, China closing that gap. I mean, it's really exciting. The Czech Republic has 4 strong disciplines. It's really great how I believe that this team event at the Olympics has really allowed some countries to develop in ice dance or pairs or singles, whatever they were kind of missing in that event. And it's really exciting because I think for the first Olympics in this team competition, there's a very, very, very good opportunity that a medal will be won not by Canada, USA, Russia. That won't likely be the podium. It's going to be a little bit shaken up. So I think that that's going to be really exciting and hopefully keep encouraging more countries to develop in all 4 disciplines.
That's such a good point. I didn't think of that. This is now 8 years in. So it's an extra motivation for the federations to say, hey, there's another medal on the line. We may not have a shot necessarily for a medal across every individual event, but if we can get that team on an Olympic podium, we're going to do our best to do it. And I think how great for Ryuichi Kihara. I trained with him in Detroit when he was just starting pairs, and now to see him really soar. I know I'm gushing about the Japanese tonight, but it's really cool to see the growth and development of these disciplines that haven't always been there.
Well, and that was the role of Ryuichi and Riku, really. They were put together with the purpose to try to get Japan an Olympic team medal, to have a pair that could be competitive enough to do that. That was the purpose. That was the mission, and it seems like it's going to have a chance of being possible. Yeah. I see so many questions coming in about Keegan. I don't think Ethan and I have talked to him over this period of time. I'm pretty sure we know as much as all the rest of you. He is not in Beijing, and Roman is skating in the team event for Canada.
A great choice.
A great opportunity. Who, when he was leaving to go to Beijing, didn't think he was being part of the team event, or at least the team short, that's for sure. So a really great opportunity for him. Something that's interesting to me, and we'll see before the event actually happens if there's any more skaters added to this, is that we have a German pair team out of the team event and a Ukrainian male skater out because they both tested positive for COVID in Beijing. So Germany and Ukraine will take 0 points in those disciplines. And that could shake things up later on. The team longs are only, they're 3 days away, 2 to 3 days away. This could change things if more people end up in that situation, hoping that they don't. But the reality of the times now is that maybe.
Yeah, and it's really a game of chess, and it's on behalf of the countries then to try and figure out, okay, if this country puts this team in, then what team do we want to put in that's maybe ahead of this team? And you also have to consider the endurance and the energy of the athletes. I mean, Megan, you may be the only one in history that can skate 4 perfect programs in a matter of 4 days. I mean, going back to back, basically, with 1 day in between. But I don't know if everybody can do that. So I think that that's another thing to consider for some of the countries as well.
I think that you had to be prepared for it. So we knew in advance that was the situation, so we prepared for it. Roman didn't know that would be his situation here. So if Canada makes the long and he ends up having to compete 4 times in 1 week, that's not what he was preparing for mentally or physically. For some of the skaters that knew that was going to happen for them, it's different, right? So, I competed 4 times in a week, and when it was finished, I could have gone again. Like, I was like, I could keep going. Because when you're prepared for something and you kind of like organize yourself emotionally and mentally and physically, I do feel like it's possible for any skater to do it. It just takes knowing beforehand. You can't find out like 2 days before that that's what you're doing.
And at the Olympics.
Have to like plan for that, prepare for that. So start the team event tonight. The Olympics is starting tonight with the team event. And then looking forward, about a week or a week and a half, we're going to be at the dance event. You are the dance expert. What do we watch for when we're watching? Let's start with the rhythm dance. What are the key components? Who will be the key players? What do you see happening in the first dance of the dance event?
Okay, so
All right, I'm going to hang this up unless
rhythm
anyone's
dance. It's
listening with
called
me.
the rhythm dance for a reason. The ISU has dictated specific rhythms